All right, well, I will get started. So hello, everyone. Welcome to our Chinese name pronunciation workshop. Thank you so much for your interest in this topic, and thank you for joining us. We have both worked very hard to put this together. My name is Katie Russo. I am the Assistant Director for Intercultural Programs. So I know not everyone knows what our office does. Intercultural Programs helps international students transition to the United States. We don't do the immigration, but we do the international orientation and help them with other activities to make them accommodate to the US culture and the university culture. And we also create global initiatives and global engagement initiatives for the university. So this is one of those opportunities that we saw as something that would be useful for our faculty and staff members. Really, this workshop is a tool for you. It's a resource to be able to connect with your Chinese students, to make them feel as though they belong here at UTD. As you know, we have a lot of Chinese students on campus, and we don't always know how to pronounce their names, and it would be wonderful if we can all learn that. We also will be offering other resources to faculty and staff and students in the coming months. So you're welcome to visit our webpage. I'll put that in the comments box so you can take a look and see all the other events that we have. But we have the partnership here with the Center for Asian Studies. And so I will introduce Bei Chen, who is our professor for the afternoon.
Hello, everyone. I feel honored to be invited by the International Center to, have a chance to give everyone a workshop about how to pronounce Chinese, and especially how to pronounce properly a student's name in Chinese. So I would like to go to the next slide. So I will first of all give all of you a brief introduction, and I'm going to do it in Chinese. And like when I pronounce all those, please listen carefully about the tongue change. So sometimes you'll see that it's like a music glissando. Sometimes it go up, sometimes it go down. Okay. 好，我叫陈贝，陈贝，陈贝，我是大学老师。老师，老师，我是中国人，中国，中国，中国，我住在德州，德州。德州. So basically, you have my information. My name is Chen Bei. So Chen as the last name, or I mean the family name over there. Here is my email address, bei.chen@utdas.edu. So if you have any questions about Chinese pronunciations, you're welcome to just send me an email. And of course, in the future, when the campus is reopened and we all go back to work, you are also welcome to come to my office to have a cup of tea, because I also like to drink the tea very much. And by the way, I'm from a School of Arts and Humanities, and I have a very close kind of relationship with Asian centers. We often work together. So today's workshop, we are going to have 4 parts. The first part, I'm going to give you a brief introduction about Chinese phonetics. It includes 3 parts: initials, finals, and the tongues over there. For this part, I think I will just pronounce it by myself, but I would highly recommend you to turn off your the microphone and try to speak aloud behind the screen, because I realize that the louder And the more often you pronounce a word, the more accurate your pronunciation will be. So this is it. For the second part is the practice. I prepared some Chinese names, and I hope I could find some volunteers to pronounce those names in Chinese for us. And of course, we can all learn from them. And the next part, I want to talk about some fun facts about Chinese names, some better to do tips and better not to do tips over there. I know that we have a lot of books and a lot of resources about Chinese names and how to address people or how to greet people, something like that. But I want to give you some of my own experiences, especially like when I came to the United States, I was a student, and after that I became a teacher over there. So I have some own experience that might not be written in any book over there. And after that, I would spend a little time with you. So if you have any questions and discussions, we could talk about that. So for each of the part, I would like to spend about 20 to 25 minutes like that. And of course, if any of you have questions, you can just raise hand and let us know. Thank you. So first of all, we're going to talk about initials, the finals, and the terms over there. But before we go to the real things, I want to ask you a question. Which one is harder, Chinese or English? So I have one question. How many pronunciations are there in the Mandarin Chinese? A, B, C, or D? If you want, you can just write your answer in our chatting room, or you can just turn on your microphone and let us know.
B.
Okay, so we have the B over there. Huh? Okay, actually the correct answer is A over there. Huh? So you will see that okay, we also have C. Huh? You will see that in Chinese, we do not have a lot of pronunciations. So that makes things easier if you want to learn the pronunciations. But talking about communication, it might be a little bit hard because you really need to know the context over there. Huh? No, of course, English has so many pronunciations over there. Huh? Same thing, which one is harder? So in order to attend a college in China or in the United States, in China, we have to pass the Chinese HSK level 4. Here is TOEFL over there. So how many words or characters a student must know in order to pass the HSK and the TOEFL? I think TOEFL is 6,000 or 8,000, something like that. It's really a lot of words right there. So A, B, C, or D. We have D. Again, the answer is A. So we don't have a lot of characters to recognize. Part of the reason is characters usually, most of the characters are not used alone or by itself. We often combine two different characters or even three different characters together to make a new word. It's something like when you say American or Chinese, when we talk about people, you can have the word American or Chinese. In Chinese language, we don't do that. We will say United States plus person. It makes a new word. Is American people like that, and China plus person, something like that. So that means that you have to know the different combinations of words to know their meanings over there. I think people say that Chinese is hard is because when you see the characters, it does not reflect the pronunciations. So for the beginners, when they started to learn a Chinese language over there, it's of course you have to memorize two things. First is the shape of the characters, how to write them. Second is the pronunciation. So there isn't any shortcut, so you just have to spend time to memorize that. So this is the hard part. But on the other hand, thinking about French or Spanish, there are so many conjugations, the grammar are so hard. So I would like to say definitely Chinese is hard, but not as hard as you think. Now, finally, we'll go to the pinyin. So what is pinyin? Or sometimes we call it 汉语拼音. So Pinyin is the phonetic system and transcribes the Mandarin pronunciation of Chinese characters into the Latin alphabet. So Pinyin, which means spell, to spell, yin is the sound. So why we developed this system about 70 years ago is because we need to use that to teach the school children, foreign learners how to pronounce a word. And for today, is the most important thing is that we need this to enter Chinese characters on computers over there. And here we have a Mandarin Chinese and a Cantonese. So some people say like Cantonese is another language over there. Within China or Chinese speaking area, we think that Cantonese is more like a dialect. So this is a Cantonese speaking area, and here is the mainland. Here is a Mandarin Chinese speaking area over there. So in this workshop, we are going to talk about the Mandarin Chinese, which is used not only in mainland of China, but also in Taiwan, in Singapore, in many Chinese communities, overseas communities. Here we have a Chinese syllables. I would like to go to next part first. So talking about the Chinese syllables, we have initials. So we don't call it consonant or vowels. We call them initials and finals over there. So initials we have 21, which are not very hard for English speaker. Finals we have 35. Besides that, we also have 4 terms over there. So how to make a Chinese sound? So basically, we are going to combine initial and final and the tongues over there. For example, when I say hello in Chinese, that is 你好。你 means you, 你 means you. 所以 initial is N. So you can roughly think initial is consonant. Finals is I. You can roughly think finals is the vowels. And we also need to give it a tone. The third tone, we go down and we go up. 你 like that. And of course we have 好, it's the same thing. 好 something like that. Okay. Now, we will go to our next part. We are going to, at least I think you can listen to me how do I pronounce all these words. So what I ask you to do again, if you want, you can just try to practice behind the screen. How the first 8 initials will be B, B, P, P, M, M, F, F. Or if you found the P, P, M, F, F, something like that. Next one, D, D, T, T, N, N, L, L. So for all these 8 initials, they are not really very hard because you can all find the equivalents in English over there. The only thing that I want to mention here is if your mother language is like Spanish or French, you should maybe pay a little bit more attention here, because B and D in Mandarin Chinese, they are unvoiced. For example, in French, when you pronounce B and D, that will be B or D. It's voiced. In Mandarin Chinese, we do not have any voiced consonant. Mandarin Chinese only have unvoiced consonant. So just try to pronounce that lightly, like B, B, and D, D over there. So B, P, M, F, D, T, N, L, something like that. And then we'll go to the next part. Here is again an aspirated K as in scale. G, G, G. And this one you need to give it K. You need to give it a breath. K, K, K. 在这哈。那么 H is like Spanish 活啊，那个 J 哈，呵呵呵，哈，咯科呵，咯科呵，好点哈。Now comes to some hard parts that you couldn't find the equivalents in English over there. We have G and Qi, and last one X is Xi over there. Huh? So the first one, G, 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 G. The second one, Q is Qi, Qi, Qi. So if you can pronounce G, then you just give it a breath and it becomes Qi, 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 like that. Huh? Last one is Xi, Xi, Xi. So to better pronounce these three sounds, we can take a look at all these mouths. So when you pronounce the Mandarin Ji, Qi, and Xi, the tongue tip is close to the lower teeth. But when you pronounce the English J, Ch, and Sh, it's close to the upper teeth. So this is the difference. Ji, Ji, Qi, Qi, Xi, Xi, over there. Huh? So, you know, like the president of China, current president of China, his family name is Xi. It's just XI over there. Huh? Xi, Xi, Xi over there. Huh? So, Qi, Qi, Xi, Qi, Qi, Xi. Next one, we have another 7 or the last 7 consonants or initials over there. The first one is Z, Z, Z. So if you forget how to pronounce it, one, just think about this R-E-A-D-S, reads, Z, 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 like that. Huh? Second is C. C is just like when you pronounce the plural form for cats. Z, Z. So aspirated version of Z. Huh? Z, 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 Z. Over there. Last one, S is easy. Huh? S, 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 as in sound. The last 4, we call them retroflex sound. What does that mean? That means that you need to bend your tongue backward and pronounce. The first one, zh, 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 zh. CH is an aspirated version of ZH. Ch, 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 SH. Sh, sh, sh. And R will be R, R, R over there. So now we have we went over all the initials over there. Now let's listen to it one more time. Here, table of initials. B, P, M, F, D, T, N, L, G, K, H, J, Qi, Xi, Z, C, S, zh, ch, sh, zh. Okay. So I wonder if any of you have any questions. Okay. Then if we do not have any questions, we'll move to the other part, which is the most important thing, the vowel, or if you want, the finals. You know, the Mongol call vowels as a mother sound and 母音 over there. I think it's really poetic. So in Mandarin Chinese, we have 6 single finals, and all the compound and the nasal finals are developed from this. So they're kind of important. Among them, with 6, among them 4 are very easy if you're native, if you're English speaker. two in red are kind of a little bit hard. The first one is easy, as in father, over there. Second is O, is also very similar to English pronunciation. O, O, O. The third one is a little bit hard. We pronounce it as uh, as you pronounce that idea, uh, uh, or if you speak French, like the or le or there. A lot of my students made mistakes here, because they consider this e as a front sound. It's actually a backward sound. So when you pronounce that, just go a little bit back. Uh, not a. Is a front sound. Should be a back sound over there. So your tongue is a kind of a drawback. Next one, I is also easy as we pronounce T or B. E, E, E over there. U is also easy. It's when you pronounce, it's just like you pronounce rude. Ooh, ooh, ooh. U with two dots, it's a sound that is missing in English pronunciation. So we pronounce it as yu, yu, yu. How to get this sound? We can first do E as I, E, and then we change the shape of our mouth from unrounded to rounded, like E, and you get the sound, U, U, U over there. So 6 single finals we have A, O, E, U, U over there. And then after that, we're going to, based on these 6 single finals, we developed 13 compound finals and 16 nasal finals over there. First of all, we are going to take a look at these compound finals. AI as in high or bike. I, I, EI as in cake or stay. A, A, AO as in cow, ow, 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 and OU as in go or so as O, O. So O will be pronounced as O. Then OU will be pronounced as O. O. It's a little bit backward sound. And then we have we have next IA as iya, iya, iya. Sometimes you will hear people just pronounce it as ya, ya, ya. EAO, yao, yao, yao. IE as ye, ye, ye. IOU, when we write it as IU, as yo, 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 yo. UA as u, a, wa, 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 just like when you pronounce Chihuahua. UO as wo, wo, wo. UAI as y, y, y. UEI, when we write UEI, we usually make it as short as UI. We, wu-a, wu-a, way, way over there. And then we have this UE with two dots over there. Yue, 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 yue. Now we'll go to the nasal finals. Then we have a few pairs of like front sound and back sound. AN and ANG, this is the first pair. AN as an, 安 as 天安门 square 哈，安 ang as on. So the first pair will be an, on. Okay. En and eng is the second pair. En is n. Eng is n. So you see, whenever you put a G, it's more like a back sound. Over there. Ong will be on, over there. So for the entire five sounds, I'm going to pronounce it one more time. An, on, n, on, 好，our last slide of 拼音哈，来nasal sound we have ian, 一安一安一安烟烟烟烟烟烟烟 ，so we pronounce as 烟烟哈，一昂一昂一昂央央央央央哈，so iang will be 央央哈，一 in 英英英 ，ing will be 英。Yung. So in is in, ing is yung. So one is the front sound, and another one is the back sound. Iong is yung. Uan is one. Uan. One. Over there. Uen. When we write it in pinyin, we just make it short as un. Wen. Uang. I bet you made a lot of uang because it's Wang, the family name. Wang. Okay. Ueng. Veng. Ueng. U with two dots plus an. Yuan. Yuan. And the last one, U with two dots plus N. Yun. Over there. So for this slide, I'm going to pronounce everything one more time. The first pair, Yan, Yang. The second pair, Ying, Yung. Next one, Yong. Next one, Wan. Next one, Wen. Next one, Wang. Ueng, Veng. Yuan. And the last one, Yun. Okay, so do you have any questions? Okay, no questions. Now I think we are going to go to the most fun part, most charming part, and of course some people will think this is a hard part. We're going to talk about tones. As you know, that Chinese only have 400 syllables, 400 pronunciations without the tones. So it makes tones really important because sometimes if you pronounce the tones wrongly, you are going to make some really funny mistakes, or I would like to say really cute mistakes over there. So in Chinese, we have four tones. In Mandarin Chinese, we have four tones. The first one is a high-pitched tone. So if any of you play like a musical instrument, you can think about this high pitch tone is a G over there. Huh? So that will be ah, o, I, U, Yu. So whenever you pronounce the first tone, I want to go a little bit out of your comfort zone, because English, when you pronounce I mean like English intonation is kind of go back and forth between a third. Chinese is a fifth over there. So you see, we have a fifth over there. So whenever, if your mother language is English, then sometimes if you go really high or really low, it makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, because you feel you are complaining something, or you feel I'm not angry. Why should I go that high pitch? Huh? But this is how we pronounce the Chinese over there. Huh? Think about that. Is that in English you are going to say, I don't know. That So this is the first pitch, the first one,啊哦一乌吁there, 那么 the second one is a rising tone. It's from if you want it from E to G over there, So 啊哦一乌吁. To compare that to English, when you say what, this is a perfect second tone. Okay, what? Something like that. 好了 third tone, if we pronounce the certain characters independently, we are going to do the full third tone. We go down and then we go up. That will be from D to C to F. A, O, I, U, Yu. It's something like when you pronounce or well, something like that. So this is you drop and you go up. The last one is a falling tone from G to C. Ah, O, I, U, Yu. Is that when you say, hey, oh, yay, we made it. Something like that. So again, Chinese is a fifth, English is a third. So when if you want to pronounce the tones properly, go a little bit higher than expect and lower than expected over there. Of course, besides that, we also have a neutral tone, but it is not an independent syllable, so we just skip that. And by the way, if any of you need this PowerPoint documents, because I have some built-in audio, you can just send me an email or send an email to Kathy, and we are happy to provide you the entire things. I mean, the entire learning package over there. So I think you can do the tongues because the cat can. Let's listen to it. The cute cat.
小汪今天叫你音调，嗷，嗷，嗷，嗷。
I think he does very well. Ow, 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 ow. Something like that. Okay, very good. So this is all the basic knowledge about the Chinese pronunciations. Not really hard. All you need to do is like practice every day, maybe 5 minutes or something like that. So if you do not have any questions, then we will go to our next part, which is the practice. I prepared some names. There are some celebrities or famous people over there. Yeah, I would ask if I would find if any of you are volunteering, if any of you want to pronounce these names and let us hear you. So let me see that. Yes, Kathy? Katie?
Yes, I was just going to ask if anyone has a question, would you like them to raise their hand to notify you so they can ask over their microphone, or would you prefer it in the messages?
I think I don't mind. I think maybe just ask through microphone, and that sounds good to me.
Okay, perfect. So you can raise your hand. Everybody knows that function, and she will answer. Great.
Okay. So if so far no questions, we're going to move to our next part. I want to listen to pronunciations over there. 好了, we have some celebrities. Anyone? Any volunteer? Okay, Victoria, please.
All right, so would it be Li Xiaolong?
Very good. Oh my gosh, it's so perfect. Li Xiaolong. Very good.
Li Xiaolong. Okay.
Li Xiaolong. What about the second one? Could you try it again?
Oh gosh. Okay. Jing Long.
很好哈. So like CH is a little bit different. It's ch. No. 成 很好. 成龙. Yeah. So we just go up. Like when you say what? 成 long. Very good. 成龙. It's perfect. It's perfect. So there's something that I didn't mention previously is whenever you have two third tone words together, it's too hard to pronounce the full tones. Because when we say 李小, it's kind of too much. So we have a rule, it's called a tongue Sunday. When two third tone together, the first third tone will be pronounced the second tone. So second tone is going up. So we just go up, and then we go down, and then we go up, something like that. So it's just like being as lazy as possible. like that. So for 这个 Li, right? No, not 就是李小龙 will go up. 李小龙. Okay. Up, down, up. Up, down, up. Like that. 李小龙. So whenever we pronounce the third tone, all the Chinese people just want to be as lazy as possible. Oh my dear. Very good. 谢谢 Victoria. Thank you. 谢谢。好，我们来看一下我们的 next two 来 anyone? Okay. So no one? Yeah. Okay. No, that's me. Okay, no one? Okay, so if no one, I'm going to pronounce that. Okay. 好，来，我们来看 my favorite pianist 郎朗 郎朗 over there 好了，那么 next one Lucy Liu Liu, this is a short of Liou. So when you IOU together, EO, yo, Leo, Liu Yuling, something like that. Very good. Next one. So volunteer, please. Volunteers.
Can I try this one? If nobody else.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
Ma Yun.
很好，马云
Yun.
go up. 云
Ma Yun.
很好 perfect 云云So this
云
yun is actually u with 2 dots. That's why 晕
Okay.
晕很好 Yeah, the Facebook CEO.
Okay, so this would be the pinyin version.
Yeah, right.
Ja, ke, bo, ge.
很好 So you will see that whenever we pronounce e, back sound.
Okay.
克 ge. So k will be 克 g will be 格 扎克伯格 扎克克伯格 Very good 扎克伯格 So I do notice that a lot of my American students, they had some difficulties here, like E, because they often pronounce that as a front sound, but it should be a back sound. Oh dear. Okay. 克格和 like that. 好，来
Wait, does that
yeah.
same up and down thing happen with his name too? Ja, Ku.
No,
Okay.
no. Like ja is the first tone, it's a high pitch, and then we drop from 5 to 0, of 5 to 1. 扎克 and then we go up, 伯 and then we go up, 格 伯格
Okay.
好 Dr. Haben.
Yeah, how do they take an English name like Zuckerberg or whatever, a European name, and turn it into the Chinese? What rules do they follow?
It's just a transliteration. I think there's special rules for people to pick the words, but basically, I
mean,
think
Zuckerberg is not what you're saying here for his name in the Chinese pronunciation. I'm just wondering who decides that.
Seriously, for that question, I don't know, but I think there should be a bureau of transliteration in China, and they decide what characters they should use, and like the broadcasting department is going to use that, and soon everyone will adopt that.
The reason I ask is years ago, like in the 90s, I was given a gift of my name in Chinese, and they focused on the PH as an F, which it isn't. It's really the hard P, the harp hum, as opposed to, but it came from somewhere. I was just curious. So this would be somebody would make a decision what it would be.
Right. But see here, we have a good example about him. So the official translation is 特朗普. So whenever you go to listen to watch a Chinese TV or broadcast a radio, it will always be 特朗普. But whenever you go to the internet or any like online forum, we don't do that. We just pronounce it as 川普.
Okay.
川普, because like I feel like 川普sounds bad more to Trump over there. So sometimes we have a gap. Sometimes we don't have any gap over there.
But you would never pronounce it in English. You wouldn't speak the Mandarin, go to the English, speak the Mandarin.
At least within China, we don't do that.
Okay. No, very interesting. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. 好, so here we have Mary. And what about the next two? Anyone? Okay. So okay, Catherine.
Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm nervous now.
Don't worry.
Is it beer?
BR.
Oh, BR. Guy. Xi.
Very good. BR 盖词.
Oh, 盖词. Okay.
盖词很好. BR 盖词
BR 盖词.
Yeah. So sometimes when we use a foreign people's name, a non-Chinese people, sometimes we're going to use their first name. Sometimes we are going to use their last name. Sometimes we are going to use the full name. It's just a kind of a habit over there. There isn't any special rules over there. So here we have like a 比尔盖茨,比尔盖茨. And next one. It's hard.
It is.
Yeah.
也 传 zi
很好哈。So
No.
柳 it's good 哈。柳传志柳传志
是
柳传志 very good 好。Then so you will see that when we translate Melania's name, we only use her first name. See, and so it just become a habit over there. So anyone wants to pronounce that?
I'll try it again.
Okay.
Me, la,
Mhm.
ni, ya.
Perfect.
Okay.
梅拉尼亚 perfect.
梅
perfect.
拉尼亚。
很好哈。梅拉尼亚 What about
梅拉
是the first lady of China?
Okay, so oh gosh, it's not a plosive. It's a piang, peng, li, yuan.
Perfect 彭丽媛
彭丽媛
很好。彭丽媛彭丽媛来 keep going. We have next two.
Well, I've heard this one. Xi Jinping.
很好。习近平
习近平
平 up. Okay.
平
习近平很好哈。习近平 Okay. 习近平很好哈。And yeah, right. 平
like that is ping, like it gets up here. Ping.
Actually, it should be 平 a
Ping.
little bit. It's back sound.
习近平.
Xi Jinping. It's perfect. Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping. And last one, we just talked about that. So normal, I mean, ordinary people, like people, we just pronounce his name as 川普. I think maybe it's because we use this chuan for the Sichuan food, like the spicy food. So perhaps that's why people prefer that. 川普. Very good. And let's try one more slide and we'll move to the next part. Okay. Anyone?
Somebody else needs to try. Come on, it's fun.
You know, it reminds me when I started to learn English back into middle school. It was killing me during the entire academic year. I still remember that for the lesson 1, we had 4 English words. It's apple and bee and bike and bed. So it's just 4 words, and then the teacher said that, okay, tomorrow we are going to have a quiz. And then I spent about an hour to try to memorize those 4 words. And I saw that I memorized that. And the second day, the teacher asked me to go to the blackboard to write all the 4 words down and blank. Because at that time, I didn't realize why you put the I after B, why you put a K after I and the E after K. It doesn't make any sense to me. So it's like you have to memorize all these combinations without understanding them. It took me about an entire year to understand a little by little the logic behind that. Why you put a do before a word if you before a subject if you want to make a yes or no question. So that's why, like, whenever I had my course, my students struggling with over there, I always tell them my stories because it's just because it's a new language system. It doesn't mean that you are you are not smart. Actually, I do think that smarter people often it's hard for them to adapt to a new system. And anyway, okay, Gabriel, would you please try this too?
Okay. Lei Jun.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, perfect. 雷军很好。What about him?
李安。
很好，李安。So I think to be able to pronounce Li is kind of important because 8% of Chinese people's family name is Li. So it's a very common family name over there. Okay, I think we just got someone else just now. Can anyone else pronounce the next two? Okay. I'm trying to pronounce your name. Laduena. Am I right?
Perfect. Laduena. Yes.
Okay, Laduena. Okay.
Yao Ming.
Oh my gosh, so good. Yao Ming. 很好.
And Yo was Yo Ma.
Ma Yo Yo. It's here. Ma Yo Yo.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Ma Yo
Yo.
Very good. So here we have like 3 third sound. Then which one should we pronounce the second sound and second tone right there? So basically you can divide them because Ma is a feminine. So you can kind of pronounce Ma as go down, Ma. And then you go up, Yo, and then you go down, Yo. Just make things easier. Ma, Yo, Yo. Ma, Yo, Yo. Ma, Yo, Yo. For more third tone together, like 我想买把雨伞, this sentence we also have like go up and down, up and down, up and down. Do not pronounce the entire third tone over there. Okay. 有问题吗? Questions? Okay. If you do not, can we do this one as well? This will be the last one. That is 李娟 那环 李娟 G U is actually U with 2 dots 渊娟李娟娟 is a very common Chinese female given name over there. That's why I put it here 李娟over there. Okay. Now, we will go to next part. So, some fun facts about the Chinese names over there. So here we have the characters for family name and the given name. Here we have the first character is family name. The second character is a given name over there. So this is an oracle bone script. You will see that on the left side, the first oracle bone script, we have the land, the soil, and the grass grow. So the original meaning of the left side, the left part is to grow or to give birth to. If you want. And then right side, you will see that this is a woman. The woman means kind of different here. Like a woman is kneel down, 2 hands crossed. It's kind of a poster of submission over there. And then little by little, since we have many characters with 女 as the radical over there, that's why we decided to put the woman on the left side and give birth to on the right side over there. This is how we write the family name or the surname in the modern characters over there. Woman still give birth to over there. So Xing as family name. But it's a little bit different. The Xing can be a noun as family name, can also be a verb is as my family name is, something like that. Okay, and here the second character it is Ming. Ming is your given name. Sometimes we can also use that as your full name. So you will see that we have the upper part. Upper part is kind of between the song and the moon. So it's not entirely the sun, it's not entirely the moon. So the upper part is between sun and moon, which is like the twilight. So since it becomes dark, you need to use your mouse to ask people's name. So this is main over there. Then here, woman, and here, like the twilight becomes a radical. It's just like in English that you have forward, backward, inward, outward, but you know the word over there. And then you just put different words in like before or after. Okay, so I have a question for you. Female or male, which one is the most common radical to be used in the earliest Chinese surnames? I think for this question, we can just write in the chatting room. Female or male, which one is, we can just write in our chatting room. Female or male, which one is the most common radical? Female. Very good. Those are the earliest Chinese family names. Ji, Gui, Si, Yao, Jiang. They are all females. Right. So female radicals are just the family name was originally passed down along mother-ethnic lines. Right. And before the Warring States period, only the royal family and aristocrat could have the surnames. So this is the China before during the Warring State periods. And the surnames gradually devolved to lower classes since Qing dynasty. So this is the Qing dynasty here. And this is the modern China. The rooster is the modern China over there. So here we have the family name or given name over there. I guess, do I have any questions from anyone? Yeah, Victoria, do you have any questions? Could you turn on your microphone?
Are there male radicals that are more recent?
Male radicals is used to form other characters over there, like you, him, something like that. Yeah. And then let's go to the next slide. So in China, we have so far we have 504 Xing, which is a family name over there. 504 Xing. Among them, 444 are single character surnames. I don't know if you have ever had a student has a dual character surname over there, but we have about 60, such as Ouyang, Sima, Baili, but they're kind of really rare over there. So here are the most common Chinese family names. The first one, of course, is Wang and Li. Wang and Li. I bet you have a lot of students named Wang and Li over there. Wang, Li. And then followed by Zhang, Zhang, 7%, followed by Liu, 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 and followed by my last name, my family name, Chen, 5%, Chen, and Yang, and then fourth time we go up, we go down. Zhao, and followed by Huang, we go up. Huang, followed by Zhou, the high pitch. Zhou, followed by W, Wu, over there. Any questions? Okay. Now,
I think there's one question from Gabriel.
Okay.
Have your hand raised?
No, not really. I think I just maybe left it raised. Let me see.
Okay.
Unraise
Just wanted to make sure you were covered.
Okay, so now I have one more question for you. His name is Wang Peng. Her name is Liu. They fall in love. They get married. So after they get married, what will be Liu's family name? A or B? We can write in our chatting room. So the woman, Liu, is she going to change her family name to Wang or not? To her husband's family name or not? That's a lot of fun. Okay, so the kitten is still going to keep her family name, Li, over there. At least in mainland of China. In Taiwan, Hong Kong, I think it's also quite common to keep the maiden name. Some older generations, you may find that they put their husband's family name before their own family name. So that make like 4 characters, or like Fan Xu Li Tai. Fan is her husband's family name. Xu is her own last name over there. What about the kids? The kids' family name will be Wang or Li. Wang. Wow, very good. Unless like a husband is agreed to agree that the kids can take the wife's family name, so it can be discussed. 好，那 here we go to the next one. Just now we talk about this Ming. I said Ming can be family. Sorry, Ming means given name or like the full name over there. But often when we say what's your name, we are going to say 名字. So here we have a new character 字 over there. This is how we write 字 in the Oracle Bone script. So you will see upper part we have a roof, and under part we have a baby. Original meaning of this 字 means give birth to a baby under the roof. So why we use this 字 as a so today the 字 means characters. So why we use 字? Although the original meaning is give birth to a baby on the roof, it's because our ancestors believe that it's just like a reproduction of human beings. This is how people reproduce and expand the vocabulary by combining different components together. You make the characters bigger and bigger and bigger. Like that. So here we have the 名字 over there. So how many characters could be used in a given name? A, B, C, and D. We can answer this in our chatting room, please. So usually do C. So today, 2 characters given names are more common and make up more than 800% of Chinese name. So that means overall 3 characters is the maximum. Unless you want to be cool. That parents want to be cool, they could give like 4 characters and 5 characters now, but it might give their kids some troubles. For example, to attend the SAT test, I mean the Chinese SAT test, everything is in computer. Then you have to bubble your names over there. Maybe they only offer you space for 3 characters over there. So it might have some problems. I don't know. But what character could be used as a given? I think that is kind of important part. Characters with pleasing sound and tonal qualities. I would like to say first tone and second tone sounds better than the third tone and the fourth tone. Why is that? Because fourth tone, like minor and 成倍, 倍 is the fourth tone, is a dropping tone. It's kind of like game over, 倍. conclusion. You go back to yeah. But first tone is high pitch, right? You are staying high. Second is that you always make progress. You always go up and up and up already. Because the second tone is like going up tone, like a 10, something like that. So I think characters, the tonal is, the tones is very important over there. Positive associative, for example, 金 is gold. What about a lot of gold? 星 over there, right? 所以金 is gold. 星 is many golds, rich. Male names link with strength, furnings. Female names with beauty of flowers. It's quite common to, European name or English names over there. And also something important is adding the missing elements to a Chinese name. So people believe, like in the ancient China, people believe that the universe is made with 3 elements. It's quite close to the Greek people. If you were born on on a certain date at a certain time, this date and the time is considered there are some elements missing over there. So what you need to do is add this missing element in your names, because we believe that if like the 5 elements are balanced, then you will be healthy. Something like that, or good luck. So that's why we have the 金木水火土, the 5 elements. So if you see your student's name as 闰土, so here we have 3 water drops. So here we have the water over there, and the 土 means soil over there. So you may think, so the date and the time you were born, maybe you are missing the water and the soil, the land over there. Right, and the 丹枫 over there, like 丹 means red, and the 枫 means maple over there. So perhaps the fire and the wood is missing over there. So I don't know about that because my parents are Christian, so they didn't allow me to do that. But I have a lot of friends whenever whenever they give names to their kids, they really need to check the online information about all these times and the dates, everything like that. The last thing to me, this is important because every year I give my students a Chinese name, and I think the shape is important. So you need to check the shape of the characters, such as Jing. I don't like this character. Jing means today or to or now, because I don't think this character stand firmly. It's like you're kind of like easy to drop, easy to fall. Yin sounds better because you have 2 legs, so you can stand firmly over there. Yue is much better because you have entire things here. The foundation is really solid. Besides, Yue means the mountain or the chain of the mountains over there. So even we have another characters, it's like a Ling. I don't like that either. Again, this is like just 1 leg, and maybe the kid will not be very healthy or something like that. So when I give name, I try to avoid this. Same thing for this Ding Yifan. So you will see family name is only 2 strokes. Yi is 1 stroke. Fan is so many strokes. So you make people feel that your name is unbalanced. So maybe this is something that I want to avoid if I have a kid and if I want to give their name. So see, Ding Yilan sounds much better, feels much better than Ding Yifan, because they all have a few strokes over there. So this is what I think. So maybe you wouldn't find that in any book, but this is what I think. Okay, so I think I have a question. So if your birth date shows that you like water, you might have water added to your name. Yes, right. Yes, correct. Any questions? Okay. Now I think we go to a fun part. If your student has a 3-character name, 1 for family name, 2 for given name, how would you call him? For example, if your student is Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, are you going to call him Sun Wukong? Are you going to call him Mr. Sun as Sun 先生? Are you just going to call his given name as Wukong? Will you call him Little Sun as 小孙 or Old Sun as 老孙? Are you going to call family name plus title 孙博士 as Dr. Sun? Sorry, I made a mistake. I should be Sun. Are you going to call him family name plus title 孙老师 as Professor Sun? Or are you going to call him family name plus older brother 孙哥? So we can write our answers in a chatting room. It's a multiple answers, not just a multiple choice, multiple answers. Here we should have this one here. Okay, we have a lot of C. Yeah, C, definitely. C is very good. Okay, I also like C, just a given name, 悟空. So we can just read it, go over it one by one. Full name, if you are not happy with your student. Right? It's just like when your parent, there was a quote full name. Family name plus 先生 or family name plus 小姐 kind of a little bit too formal. Like you and your student, you will not need to be that formal over there. In a business occasion, or if you are introduced to someone for the first time, maybe it's better to use family name plus 先生 or 小姐. C, 悟空 is totally fine. 悟空. But D is also all right. It's actually very common in China. Your colleague or your student, if they are younger than you, we prefer to put a little plus family name over there. 小孙, 小王, 小李, something like that. It's totally fine. E is also fun if your colleague is older than you. And of course, if this is not your boss, you don't have to show the respect over there. 老孙, 老李. 这个老 is not offensive. It's just like senior. It's to show our respect over there. 老孙, 老李, 老王, it's fine. I think F works too. If you want to say congratulations, you graduated today. You are now become Dr. Sun. It's totally fine. 孙博士, and of course, 博士 is a little bit formal. Same thing as 孙老师, Professor Sun over there. H, I like that very much. Family name plus older brother. This is used very common in a workplace. Not very formal situations. 孙哥, so if you want to call your colleague who is a little bit older than you, you can just call him 孙哥 or 孙姐, 陈姐, something like that. But I think to avoid any bad misunderstanding or happen, we can. I think like 小孙 is safe, 悟空 is safe, or even more formal, better to be safe, 孙先生 over there. It's totally fine over there. But you may notice that we put the family name before the title. Like Mr. Sun will be Sun Mr. Mr. Wang, Dr. Wang will be Wang Doctor. Professor Wang will be Wang Professor over there. Okay, so be very careful. So always remember a rule: bigger unit before small unit. So family name before given name. Year, when we talk about time, year before month, before date, before day of the week, before AM, PM, before time, before minute, before seconds. When we write the address, country, before province, before city, before the street. So always like bigger unit go before small unit, because I always feel that the tradition wants that the Chinese highlight the group you belong to, instead of the individual over there. So that's why to ask, we will go to next slide. How do we ask people's name over there? So you will see that. Secondly, we will have like, what about if your student has a 2-character name, one for family name or one for given name? How would you call him or call her? For example, we have Li Juan. I have that only experiences because my name is 2 characters name. So it's not like I feel uncomfortable. It's that I feel it's tonally or musically not very musical over there. So basically, you will see that all the Chinese syllables is a single syllable. So one character is one syllable. And we kind of think one syllable is not very melodic. Like gi, it's not very melodic, but more syllables create more change over there. So whenever your student's name is one character, like my name, if you just call, like my name is Chen Bei over there, like I still remember that my professor used to call me Bei, but at the very beginning I kind of like feel what? So because we don't do that because it's a single syllable. So what we are going to do is we are going to create or add some prefix or suffix before or after a single character given name to make it 2 syllables over there, because it sounds better, sounds more melodic. For example, Li Juan is totally fine. It's a full name. Of course, you can call her Miss Li as Li Xiaojie. Her given name, I don't think that, I mean, this is not a fault. It's just like we feel a little bit, we don't do that in China. So you could do that, something like you add a little before Juan, before the given name as Xiaojuan. Over there. You can also add another prefix as A Juan, A Ma, A Yun, A Lang, something like that. You can reduplicate the given name. Juan, like my parents call me Bei, something like that. So it sounds just better. Or given name plus a suffix, and this suffix is often this R, jar, over there. Jar over there. So you may notice that because like now your students should be like they should be born in the late 80s or like early, I don't know, early 90s or like 2000. So this is a new generation. The new generation of mainland of China, the parents prefer to give their kids the 3-character full name. So it's totally fine. But if you all meet older people, you may still notice that some of them have the 2 characters names. So you may ask them, how do you prefer me to call you? Like, do you want me to call you like Xiaojuan or Jar or Ajuan or Juan, something like that. Among them, reduplication is a very common nickname, like Jun, Lu, something like that. So this is my own experiences over there. I wonder if you have any questions? Yes, please.
Is it weird to call someone little? Like Xiaozhong seems like it might be
Too intimate.
Too intimate, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, like if he's I mean her friends may just call her like that.
Okay, not the professor.
Um, I would call my Chinese students that way too.
Okay.
Because maybe it's because we are both Chinese, so we all know that it's fun. So if you, I think you may just ask your student first how your parents call you, or how your friends call you. So that may be safer over there. Yeah. Other questions? Oh, by the way, if your students have a 2-character full name, it's totally fine to call the full name. It's fine. 3-character full name, it's a little bit too distant to call the full name. But the 2 characters full name is fine. Like I'm totally fine when my friend, when my professor call me Chen Bei, and then call my friend Wukong, it's fine. So unless we have, I mean, as far as we have at least 2 characters over there, it's fine. I mean, two syllables over there, that will be fine. Okay. And other questions? Okay. We'll go to the next part. Next part, I have the most common Chinese, like whenever you meet people for the first time, you are going to ask people, you are going to exchange the names. So this is what we are going to do. As 您好，先生，请问您贵姓? I would prefer to change the last name to feminine. See, we do not ask people, hey, what's your name? We ask people's family name first, especially in the kind of formal occasions over there. 那么, so the sir will say, do not call me honorable. My humble name is something like that. So please dispense the word honorable. My last name is Wang. 免贵, 我姓王. 免贵 is the meaning. And then 我姓王 is here. My last name is Wang. So people will always start their conversation by family name, because we always want to identify the group you belong to, even though nowadays people like the individualism is more important than than being identified as a member of a group. However, we still ask that way. When you answer these questions, you will start to answer the question with my family name is Wang, but you will not wait until other people ask you, then what is your full name? So you are going to tell people directly your family name first, followed by your full name. 我姓王，叫王菲. So you will not ask. I mean, you will not wait until other people ask. And then he can also ask, then what's your name? 你叫什么名字? Or 您叫什么名字? To answer the question, 我叫李文. So we have another rule. It's like, if you are a senior person, or if your social status is higher than the other part, like if you're a professor and the other part is a student, then it's totally fine to be less polite. So if you want to ask your Chinese students what's his or her name, you can just ask 你叫什么名字? 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 Or 您叫什么名字? Like that. But if you want to ask a senior person to show your respect, it's better to start from the family name. Oh dear. And one last thing is, I don't know if you have ever met any situation like your former student become your colleague. Because that happened to me. Because when I was a student, I always call them Professor, Professor Sik Wang, Professor Goop, the doctor, 什么什么什么. And once I become their colleague, I still feel bad. I still feel uncomfortable to call their given name. I still prefer to call them Dr. Sigmund or Professor Goop, something like that. Even though they told me that, hey, you don't have to call me that way. You can just call me, like Christine or Michelle, something like that. I still feel bad. It's just uncomfortable because I guess in China, people really, like the teacher has really a high social status. And once you establish this social order over there, it might be hard to change that psychologically. And so one of my professor told me that I think his given name is Tom or Thomas. So his Chinese student finally agreed to call him Professor Thomas. So we still want to add a professor to show us respect over there. So you may notice that maybe in the future with some of your Chinese students over there. Okay. So I guess that's all for today. We have 5 more minutes. I wonder if any of you have questions. I guess not. Okay, so again, so here is my email address. I'm going to type it here. If you need this document, because I put the audio files over there for the pronunciation, just send me an email and I will send you the PPT PowerPoint. Okay.
Thank you so much, Bei.
Yes,
So should I say Chen Liao Xi?
谢谢
So
卢
Professor
老师，罗老师
Okay.
入手罗老师 like that.
I am learning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for presenting on this topic. I'm so glad it was interactive and we had people practicing and excited to try everything. I know our faculty and staff, you have so much experience with having Chinese students of your own. And so I hope this gave you a little bit of insight into how the language is and how names are structured. That was very helpful for me. But thank you again so much. I did leave a note in the meeting. If you want a recording, you are more than welcome to send us an email to icprograms@utdallas.edu. And Bei has also offered that I can share the PowerPoint if you would like it as well. So I'm happy to share that. But I will be posting this recording on YouTube so I can send the link to anyone who wants it.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I really enjoyed this 90 minutes here.
Yes, I enjoyed it too. So thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye. Have a good day. Take care. 祝大家一切好，再见，再见。
Is that goodbye in Chinese?
再见，再见，
再见。
Okay, I'm going to leave.
As I need to learn to speak more Chinese. Oh.